Hi guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Gret Leach and I am an intuitive, a human guide, a light worker, a mentor and a Reiki practitioner. Today I want to talk to you about what anxiety actually is, how you can get to the root of it, and how it's actually tied in to your purpose in this lifetime. So first of all, what is anxiety? Anxiety is actually your body's way of trying to get in touch with you because you are not listening. And what I mean by that is, in today's society, we all label things because labeling stuff is a way of us trying to understand something. So if we're feeling a certain way and we don't understand what it is, by placing a label on it, that enables us to go, oh, well, actually, I'm feeling that, so I can just blame it on that. It's not a bad thing as well, because like I say, understanding something, and I know with me when I got diagnosed, just divulging slightly here, when I got diagnosed with ADHD last year, having that label, if you like, if you want to call it a label, if you don't, that's just how my brain is. But by understanding that I have ADHD, and that's the way that my brain works, has actually helped me to deal with a lot of that and understand myself on a deeper level. So I'm not saying that it's bad. If you want to refer to how you're feeling as anxiety, that's fine. But one thing I am going to tell you today, and one thing that I want you to take away from this video is, I want you to stop referring to it as my anxiety. I want you to start referring it to as the anxiety. Not mine, it's not yours to claim. So all anxiety is your body's way of telling you that you are not listening. So it can be to do with programming, it can be to do with conditioning, and a lot of the time it's because we are pretending to be somebody that we're not. We're living a life that's not in alignment, we're doing a job that's not right for us, we're in a relationship that's not right for us, and we're doing all of the things that are not right for us on a soul level. So that creates what we know in today's modern society, and where we're going to label things, and we look on the internet and it's, oh, it's this and oh, it's that. You could say, well, that is anxiety, because what that creates in your body is feelings of tension, nervousness, feeling unbalanced, ungrounded, the horrible physical symptoms that you get where your heart can be racing, your palms might be sweating. All of these different symptoms that you get with anxiety is because you are holding on to a, I don't want to say fake, that's not the right word, but you are basically, you're holding on to things that aren't you, that no longer serve you anymore. And the reason why it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't get any better, is because the more that you ignore it, and the more that you push down those things that aren't you, and the more that you carry around this baggage, and the more that you're constantly living in the past because you haven't dealt with that, and because you're constantly living in the future because you're worrying about what's going to happen at that event, or how you're going to sound, or what that person's going to say, all of that is creating it's making your body basically scream at you to say, stop, you need to sit down, you need to find out why you're feeling like this, you need to be curious. But what we all tend to do is we all tend to go off to the doctors and say, I'm feeling this way, and I'm one of those people. I've done it. I literally got to a point where I'd physically tried everything I could to help myself. I went to yoga, I meditated, I journaled, I did all the things that you can think of doing, and yes, those things helped me and they gave me some form of relief, but they didn't actually get rid of the anxiety, and then it just kept coming back louder and louder, to the point where I remember being on the phone to my partner one day and actually having a breakdown. And I'd booked an appointment at the doctor's, and the doctors, I was late because I was stuck in traffic on the way home from work, and the doctors said, sorry, you're going to have to rebook. And I literally was so desperate for medication, which I'm not that kind of person, I don't think there's anything wrong with medication. I think that if you need it to help you through a phase in your life, it's great, and we're really, really lucky to have it. But at that particular moment in my life, I just needed some form of relief. I'd been suffering for a long, long time. This is where I kind of came away from the old Gret, the old lifestyle of taking drugs, drinking alcohol, and I was trying to get my life in order, and I couldn't cope with it, and in that moment I needed something. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, and if you really do need it to help you, then please go and speak to your doctor. It's there for a reason, and it did help me immensely. But I only stayed on it for about 8 months because I knew I wanted to get to the root of the problem. I didn't want to cover it up with medication. So that's what we tend to do when we feel things that don't feel very nice, and what we relate to as anxiety. But anxiety is your body's way of trying to get your attention. So if you are feeling anxious on a daily basis, or you're feeling anxious in certain situations, maybe it's around other people, maybe you've got low self-confidence because of the way that you're feeling, maybe you've got this heavy feeling in your tummy and your solar plexus every single day, you know, maybe your brain is on overdrive and it literally can't switch off. There's a reason for that. So what I want you to do is be a little bit kinder to yourself and go, okay, well, why is my body feeling this way? Why is my mind feeling this way? Why do I feel so negative? And I do understand that when you're in the thick of it, it's really, really hard. Because if I go back to when I started my journey of, you know, self-development, self-evolution, spirituality, I was riddled with guilt, shame, regret, all of these things from the past, because I'd spent my whole life trying to be somebody that I wasn't and use drugs and alcohol to cover it up. So you can imagine the state that I was in when I got to that point to try and unravel all of these things. So what I want you to do is I want you to start looking at this as your body is trying to tell you something. Not that this feels horrible, go away, I'm going to push it back down, or I'm just going to take some medication so I feel better. That's not going to get to the root of the problem. That's not going to help you long term. What I want you to do is start getting curious about it and start emptying your head. There's something about journaling and writing stuff down that is really, really therapeutic, and when you actually see it written down on paper, it's totally different to the way it is when it's just whirring or whirling around your head. It's totally different, because remember, your ego's at play in your head, and what your head's going to do, what your subconscious mind is going to do, it's going to, when you feel a certain way and it doesn't feel very nice, it's going to take a scenario that's stored in the subconscious, which has happened in the past, because the subconscious stores all of those things that have happened in the past, and it's going to pick something, and it's going to pick a situation where you were and you felt that way, and it's going to link the way that you're feeling in your body, because that's what your brain does. That's what your brain is designed to do. Your subconscious is designed to do that. So that is why there's a vicious cycle when you're feeling, you know, anxious, because, or you're feeling a certain way in your body. Obviously we're talking about, this is what we know it to be as anxiety. Your brain is going to try and link that, because it does, because the emotion, whatever you're feeling in your brain and you're thinking in your brain, is linked directly to the body, to the heart, and that is going to create that emotion in the body. So they're very, very intrinsically linked. So what I want you to start doing, number one, is emptying your head of all these things that are whirring around. If you're one of these people and you've never had a journal and you've been through most of your adult life doing all of these things, you know that you've got to a point where you now want to start changing, you want to be a better version of yourself, there's things that you know you need to deal with from the past, then get yourself a journal and start writing down every single thing that you can remember as far back. Like for me, I remember things from my childhood when I was anxious. I remember things from one of my jobs when I felt anxious all the time. There was lots of different scenarios that I always used to play over and over and over in my head, because I was either in that situation and I went really red because I was really uncomfortable, or I felt trembly because I felt anxious. All of these things, the scenarios, and again, your brain, your subconscious stores all of that. So in order to get over this, and in order to be able to accept that, look, that was me then, that's not me now, and that doesn't serve me anymore, it's in the past, I don't need to take that forward, the best thing that you can do is get yourself a journal and start writing it all down and emptying your head. The other thing that is really, really good to start helping the brain to calm itself down a little bit, going from this really high alert state into more of a relaxed state, is meditation. Now, I understand that when you first started doing meditation, it's not easy, especially if you're carrying around a load of baggage. And until you've actually learned to, released that baggage and learned to accept all of these things and move forward, they're going to be there and they're going to be stored in your body. That emotion's going to be stored in your body, which is energy, because all emotions are energy. And you're always going to have that same story playing over in your head. So it is going to be difficult at first, but what I would say is, even if you can sit down for 5 minutes, practice sitting down for 5 minutes and do some breath work. Put some music on that you like, do some breath work, and for that 5 minutes, even if you only manage a minute or 2 minutes, that's great. Concentrate on your breath. Breathe in through the nose, so it would be like this. I'll tell you what, let's do this together. I'm going to do 5 to 6 deep inhalations and exhalations. Let's do this together. So I want you to place your right hand onto your heart, and I want you to close down your eyes. And what you're going to do now is you're going to breathe in through your nose. So we're going to inhale, and then exhale through the mouth. And I want that to be long and slow. Let's do another 5. One final breath. Okay, when you're ready, open your eyes. Now, just from me doing 6 breaths, I can feel a shift. Everything looks brighter, everything looks sharper, and I feel more connected to my body. Just by practicing that every single day. I mean, what did that take? 30 seconds, probably a minute. Just by doing that every single day is going to help you to calm your mind and connect into your body. And by calming your mind, you're going to be calming your body at the same time. Okay, so there's 2 really, really good tips to start helping you to lower these feelings that you're getting. Listen to your body a little bit more, because in the quiet times is the times where our intuition can speak to us. When we are constantly living in the past or living in the future or worrying about this or feeling a certain way, we are completely disconnected from ourselves. We're disconnected from our intuition. We're disconnected from the universe, and we can't hear any of those things that need to come through to us in order for us to be steered and guided by the universe in the best way for us. So that is why the work that I do is so important, because we can't get to that state of we can't get to a flow state where we're listening to our intuition and we're following our heart and we're connected to our body when we have all of this surface level shit, basically, that we need to get rid of. Any conditioning that doesn't belong to us, any human programming from our parents that doesn't belong to us, anything that we are doing that is not authentically us has to go in order for us to bring ourselves back to our true authentic self and to be able to be connected. And also then this leads me on to how all of these things that you're feeling is actually linked to your purpose in this lifetime. Now, for me, I am very, very, very intuitive and I feel things very deeply within my body. So one of the things for me, when I was suffering with debilitating anxiety and social anxiety, was because my body is kind of like my gift, and I was feeling everybody's emotions and everybody's feelings, and I was taking on all of this energy unknowingly, and that was creating, the symptoms that I was getting were just, they were debilitating, to be honest with you. And when I started to unravel all of this stuff that no longer served me, and I started working with a mentor, and I started working through all the human programming that my parents had put onto me, realising that wasn't mine, that was theirs. I love you, but have it back, it's not mine. When I started to accept the past, accept myself for who I was, and find love for myself again, that's when the doors started to open for me. Oh, well actually, yeah, I'm actually an empath. I'm going to do a separate video on this because that was like a light bulb moment for me, and some of you guys watching this are probably going to be feeling exactly the same when you do find out, or if you have found out that you're actually an empath, because it answers so many questions. When you're an empath, you are a sensitive person, and when you're a sensitive person, more often than not, you're actually here to do something in this lifetime that involves helping others, because you are a sensitive being. You can feel and put yourself in other people's shoes. You can feel how it feels to be them, and that's a gift, and it's a beautiful gift. But also it can be detrimental if you don't know how to protect your energy, clear your energy, understand when it's someone else projecting theirs onto you. Because what I did for such a long time, and you guys will probably resonate with this, I took that on as my own energy. So I was thinking that the way that they were was how I was feeling. But what I started to realise was that I could be on my own, or be on my way somewhere and feel absolutely fine. And then I'd be around somebody, or I'd be in a certain situation, and then all of a sudden I'd get all of this tightness and these certain feelings, or it would make me feel like I was changing who I was. But what I realised is that actually I'm mirroring to that person what they're actually projecting. Because as an empath, that's one of the things you do. You naturally mirror to somebody to show them back to themselves what they're actually projecting and what they're actually doing. And that can be so tough. Again, it's a gift, but it can be really, really tough, because sometimes you just think, for God's sake, let me just be me. I don't care about them. But that's part of being an empath, is you're there to show somebody their shadow side, in a sense, or how they're coming across, how they're projecting themselves, and it is really, really tough. And sometimes, you have to know how to protect your energy and clear your energy off. And when you go into a certain situation, ask the universe. Another really good thing is ask the universe to create a bubble around you and zip that bubble up before you go anywhere, and don't let anything is it permeate? Is that the word? Come through that bubble that you don't want in there. Your energy is precious. You know what it is. You know who you are, and you're not going to allow anything in there unless you say so. So all of these things, you can see how I've gone from, I've got anxiety, to, well, actually I'm an empath and I'm here to help people. Can you see how it's so important that we learn to thrive in adversity? And it's so important to understand that the things that we're feeling, if we're feeling anxiety and our body is crippled with anxiety, or it's debilitating, or you've got all of these things, you have to listen to that. The answer is not, that doesn't feel very nice, I'm going to push it back down again. Now, most of us as humans, that is our natural instinct. That is what we want to do. We feel something and we go, that's not very nice, go away. But what I've actually learned to do through, you know, all of my self-development and self-exploration over the past, you know, 5-6 years is when something feels like that, I go, oh, come back. Let me feel into that. Why does that feel that way? Why does it feel uncomfortable? What's my body trying to tell me? What do I need to learn from this situation? And it is always self-reflection. It's never anybody else's fault, because we are all mirrors to each other. We are all showing each other where we need to look at things, where we've got some kind of trauma maybe that we haven't dealt with. We are all mirrors to each other, to help each other to heal and to self-reflect. But by doing all of these things and, you know, having the tools to be able to navigate life when things do crop up, that's you winning. Basically, you're winning if you've got those tools. So it's just, you know, a different perspective, and it's one, if you're watching this and you're in my energy, you're listening to this for a reason, you've come across this for a reason, and you're one of those people that are here to be a better version of themselves, and to also create a ripple effect for those people around you to follow, to look at to you and say, oh wow, have you seen what she's done? Have you seen what he's done? He's doing absolutely brilliant. You know, you're here to be an example of that, and more than likely here to help other people as well. But you can't have the capacity to help other people, number one, if you've got a load of surface level rubbish that needs to be cleared. Number two, if you're not you don't understand who you are and you're not connected with who you are. Yeah, there's all of these things that you've got to clear away. And if your cup's not full, that was the other thing I was trying to think of. If you're trying to help someone when your cup's empty, that's no good, because you have to give to yourself first. So let's be kind to ourselves. I want you to be kind to yourself, and I want you to start practicing those couple of things if you wish. Obviously, they are really, really good tools to start out. If you've got any comments or anything and you would like any guidance, pop it in the comments and I will do my best to come back to you all, because that's the aim of this channel. I want to be able to help people to, you know, navigate the human experience. At the end of the day, we're a soul having a human experience. We all go through things, but it's important to know that there's a reason for everything, and that the key to life is actually learning to thrive in adversity, because if you can do that, you're winning. You're winning, and you will always come out the other side with a feeling that is undescribable, because once you've gone through a massive shift and you've shifted energy that no longer needs to be there, that doesn't serve you anymore, you literally feel that within your whole being, and that is a massive win. And that's the reason why I do it. That's the reason why I'm always evolving. That's the reason why I like to help people to evolve, because once you've got them tools and something comes up and you work your way through it and you get through it, it feels incredible, and I want that for all of you guys. So I'm going to leave it on that note today. I was going to pull a card, but I have actually done quite a long message there. So do you know what, guys? I am just going to pull you a quick card, because I do like to give a bit of daily guidance. And I think because I was feeling called to Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light deck again, purely because I just feel like this message, yeah, it was about anxiety, yeah, it was about those kinds of 3D surface level things that we feel, but you guys that are watching this are here for more, and this is what this deck represents. It represents work your light. So work through all the things that no longer serve you anymore, so you can get to a point where you can be like, right, this is what I can help people with. This is how I can just be the best version of myself, and that's going to help this person. And that's what working your light is all about. So I'm just going to pull one card. So what have we got, please, Spirit? For somebody or the collective today. Okay, trust your path. So this is what's just come out, and the artwork on these is gorgeous. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So again, that is, can you see that? A really beautiful card. So I'm just going to read that from the book for you. Let's have a little look. Here we go. Okay. The universe is conspiring. Keep facing your true north. Your job is not to pave the path, but to simply keep facing your true north and take one step after another. If you do this, you can't go wrong. The universe is conspiring. Don't waver or doubt. Use your heart as a compass and put one foot in front of the other. If you follow the invisible trail of what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. Most people don't follow the highest call of their soul because they are waiting to see the end destination before they take the first step. If you take one baby step each day, within a year, you will have taken 365 steps in your dedicated direction. If you want to write a book, write a page every day. If you want to change careers, do one thing every day in dedication to that. Before you know it, in just a year from now, you will turn back and look in awe at how far you have journeyed. Keep moving and open yourself up to a whole new level of support and receiving. Things are not going to work out the way you are planning, but if you have little faith and keep showing up, but if you have a little faith and keep showing up, they will work out even better than you could possibly imagine. Don't micromanage the universe, trust your path and let your soul lead the way. So this says at the bottom, work your light inquiry, and that it says, if you knew you would be supported no matter what would you do? So I think that is a really beautiful confirmation card, as per usual. After I've done a message that I feel called to do, the universe, spirit always confirms it with a card. So it's basically saying exactly what I've said, that your soul knows the way and you need to get out of your own way and you need to clear this surface level stuff in order to be able to connect in with your soul and also to be able to listen to the voice of your intuition and let the universe guide you. So I hope that helped. Whoever's watching today, thank you very much for joining me, and if it resonates and you wish, please hit the subscribe button, the like and subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos, because it will really help me to grow the channel and reach more people. Thank you very much. I'll see you on the next video. Lots of love.